Hello, friends. Namaste. Today, I wanted to make you a video, and the topic is how to be sick. I think about this a lot when I watch the way people take care of themselves when they're sick, and I think about all I've been taught in Ayurveda and what has really worked for me. And I thought, I want to share some of this information. It's not rocket science, but it's stuff that hopefully will be really helpful. The first thing I want to say is that before you get sick, it's common to lose your appetite. So you might wake up one day and you're just not hungry as usual for your meals, or you lose your taste for food where nothing really sounds good to eat. And that's a sign that your metabolic energy is tied up trying to digest something you've already ingested, could be a pathogen. So I recommend, if you have that sign, rather than have your normal meal, just make yourself a pot of hot ginger root tea and sip on that every 15 minutes until your appetite returns. And that can actually help you ward off going down to begin with. Another thing that can happen before we get sick is we're kind of unexplainably tired, like this feeling kind of deep exhaustion. We got our 8 hours and we're still kind of dragging. And that's another sign often that the immune system is at work. And so, if you can make your schedule lighter, cancel your evening plans, get on the couch, sleep more than normal, that also can sometimes ward off the illness. Then what happens when you actually get hit, right? You've got the cold, you've got the flu, you've got COVID, you've got some stomach issue. What are you going to do now? Well, the first thing I want to talk about is what not to do. And what I'd love for you not to do is not to take any over-the-counter medications. Now, there's one caveat for when those might be good. And that's if you've got a meeting, if you've got a work event, you absolutely have to show up for it. There's just no way you can cancel that meeting. That is a great time, take the NyQuil PM to knock yourself out, take whatever you need to dry up your sinuses for an hour, go to the meeting, do the presentation, and then that's it. Put that stuff away, put some fresh pajamas on, get in a bed that's fresh and just stay there. Go to bed, get on the couch and just rest. Let yourself go down for the count. Ideally, you're not sleeping for long hours during the day, but certainly dozing throughout the day and then long sleep at night is really one of the best things you can do to recover. Along the lines of no appetite, often by the time we're sick, our appetite is very diminished. So please don't try to eat a lot of food. Have easy to digest foods. There may be particular comfort foods from your family lineage that were always made when you were sick. Those are particularly good, grandma's chicken soup or matzo ball soup. I recommend clear soup. So that could be a chicken soup, a vegetable soup, a miso soup, wonton soup, where you're not really going for the chicken or the wonton so much, maybe having a little nibble, but mostly just going for that nourishing broth. Ideally spiced with lots of pungent spices. So that would be black pepper. You can use some chilies, fresh ginger root, garlic. These are all wonderful ways to help kill the pathogen. Garlic's a natural antibiotic, help to open up the subtle pathways, help to heat you up, move that pathogen out, help to open up and get the sinuses moving. Ginger is very soothing for the belly. And for the lungs, both. Okay. If you have a little bit more of an appetite, you might go for some soupy rice, also cooked with pungent spices. And other than that, sip on some hot ginger root tea, sip on it every 15 minutes. Ideally, you've got a nice insulated cup to keep it hot. If you like sweet, or if you have a lot of mucus, use some fresh, local, raw honey. And let your tea cool down just a little bit. Add the honey, or you can just add the honey to hot water. You can add the honey to hot water and lemon. And that's another really wonderful thing to sip on every 15 minutes. The lemon will help your body hold the hydration a little more. The honey cuts through the phlegm, and it's also naturally antibiotic and soothing. And I've already talked about what the ginger does. Natural gargles like salt water, turmeric water. These are anti-inflammatory and will help to soothe mucosal tissue, and the salt has a effect of being antibacterial as well. Using the neti pot to clear out, using a steam to open and clear out, using some camphor or whatever on your lungs to open them up. All these are natural ways that you can support your immune system in doing what it's trying to do to heal you. So I would love it if you would do some of those things. So I've talked a little bit about what not to do. I've talked about what would be good to eat and to stay hydrated. I talked about getting to bed. Please do that. Try to resist the urge to, take walks. You could sit outside maybe if you're bundled up for a little bit, or open a window, but it's better not even to really exercise much. I mean, you can do some of the self-massage. Some of you who've been in classes with me, we have a whole self-massage sequence that we do. The self-massage would be wonderful to do, or to have somebody you love or an animal, rub on you or lie on you, to help keep those subtle pathways open and flowing. That would be fantastic if you can, stand to do a little bit of breathing when you're congested. But don't go to yoga class. There may be a here or there restorative pose. It might feel good to lie with your chest open, or it might feel good to lie over a bolster to open your back. Simple things like that. But if you're not in the mood for any of it, I suggest just staying with the rubbing. All right, here's the last thing I wanted to say, and this is maybe the most important thing I see people doing wrong about being sick, which is they kind of get back into things too quickly. And it's totally understandable, right? You've been down, you felt terrible. Suddenly you wake up and it's like, I'm alive. I'm hungry. I feel like going for a walk, and you just want to go do those things, and I want you to. If you're hungry, I want you to go ahead and eat the chicken in your soup. But the idea is just go slowly. Yeah, have a little bit more to eat, but really watch your appetite. Just because you've got that hunger back, you might find that it's satisfied more quickly, and you definitely don't want to overrun your Agni or your metabolic energy, because it's just had a bit of a workout anyway. So support your metabolic energy by eating proper quantity, and eating things that are still easy to digest, still with those pungent spices. Yes, go outside, bundle up, take a walk, but just take a walk around the block. Take a short walk, 20 minutes, and then come home and get back on the couch. Don't go to the party. Give yourself a couple, 2-3 more days to do less than you necessarily feel like. And that will help you get all the way to the end, right? So I talked about how when we take over-the-counter medications that suppress our symptoms, actually, I don't know if I talked about it on this video, but I'll go ahead and say it now. But what happens when we suppress symptoms is we drive pathology into the deeper tissues in the body. So you might have had this happen before, where you get sick, you get better, and then you get sick right away. And one of the ways I understand that from the point of view of Ayurveda is where that pathology didn't get all the way out. So giving yourself those last few days, keeping digestion at par, eating but not overeating, continuing to prioritize rest and sleep. That's what's going to get you all the way to the end of the illness. So you're not taking symptom reducing medicines to drive the pathology in, and you're also not overdoing it too fast on the other side. And then what you'll be left with is a more robust system. Your immune system just got a nice workout, and you should feel actually better than you felt before you were sick. And hopefully there's been some learning along the way. I always learn a lot when I'm sick, usually about how hard I work and how much I push myself. And that's most of us. Most of us are doing more than we even realize. We're not taking enough downtime. We're not taking enough time to process emotionally. And so sickness is a time really where we get to catch up with ourselves at that level as well. I hope this has been helpful for you. There's so much more I could say, and maybe I'll say it on another video next week. I do want to mention that I'm still receiving applications for Embodied Flow, my year-long Ayurveda mentorship. this is the kind of stuff we learn about. We learn more about how metabolic energy works. We learn a lot about how to support our immune system. As you can see from what I've said, these are very simple things. It's often stuff we maybe have tried before, been introduced to before, stuff grandma might have done for us, but they're things that, we don't tend to do so much now. So this is a wonderful year-long program where you get to really dial in some deep learning about your own psycho-spiritual, biological organism and how to really care for it, how to care for it now, this week, next month, next season, when life is stressful, when life is easy, when you're in this life stage or this other life stage. So things are always changing. We are always changing in response. And so how do we find balance? How do we live into balance amidst these changing conditions? I'll tell you, this information is gold. And once you have it for the rest of your life. You have it to support your children. You have it to support the second half of your life, a really wonderful time. Or if you're younger, you have it to support you through the perimenopause, through child rearing times. So I recommend checking out the course page. I'd love to talk to you. And we'll be taking applications for another week. All right. Have a beautiful weekend. I hope this was helpful. Bye for now.